this niche and Social Security planning, why is it the next must-have service for you guys to offer either your current clients or for your business to attract new clients and get additional sales for your business, right? It's also about building that book, right? And getting referrals. So a big question that I'm always asked in particular is why the topic of Social Security, right? Why is it so relevant to our clients? And why should you, as an agent or advisor, why add it to your practice? Why use it as a way to organically increase your other lines of business? Well, there's really several reasons for that. And the one big one is that, again, Social Security is relevant to everybody pretty much, right? Just about every single client you have worked with or will work with will be on Social Security at one point or another, right? Whether it's on their own record or the record of a spouse or an ex-spouse or a deceased spouse, right? Not every client has 401ks and Roth IRAs and all these other retirement accounts. They may, but you really won't even be able to find that out until you come up with some kind of door opening approach to understand what else is going on in that client's financial and retirement outlook, right? Another reason that kind of ties into the next reason why Social Security is a really important subject is that, it's more of an educational approach, right? It's not just going straight after the sale. We all want to get that very next sale, right? We want to increase our sales and income, but at the same time we need to find a way to break down that barrier between us and that next client, right? And a lot of that comes down to trust and rapport and building a relationship for that client to say, yes, I do need help with this, this, and this, right? And those are the things that you guys currently help your clients with. But this is a great way to start off that conversation and saying, I can help you with your Social Security. Why do you need help with Social Security? Well, there's very few reliable resources to get the help that you need, right? You can't go to the Social Security Administration. You can't go to an advisor who doesn't genuinely know how Social Security works. All this online information is all about fear mongering and, clickbait and misinformation. And so they're going to come to you to get the help that they need. Now, there's two options with that. Do we send them to another agent or advisor that might be at risk of taking our client? Or do we learn this specific niche because we know it's going to be relevant to every client we deal with? And if we can use that as an approach to say, I can help you with this other important aspect of your retirement, knowing it's going to lead to an understanding of what else is going on in their life and in their finances, then you'll be able to present all of the products and services that you provide. And this really comes down to being different, right? Every agent and advisor out there has the same pitch, is selling the same things, and there's no differentiation, right? Especially for clients, is how do they know who to work with? How do they know who is going to do what's best and right for them? Well, a lot of it comes down to referrals. But at the same time what if we were able to use this specific niche that is Social Security to gain their trust and rapport and gain their information to say, yes, here's your Social Security plan, but there's also other planning that needs to be done. I see that you have this, and I see that you have this, or I see that you need a healthcare plan for those Medicare agents out there. It's all relevant to them, but this is a way where you can lead in with a more educational approach that will lead to that trust, rapport, and relationship, then to the sale, right? So the opportunity is simple, right? Social Security is everywhere right now. If you think about it, there's so much information out there about Social Security. It's always in the news. There's a lot of articles coming out now. There's a lot of misinformation. Let's face it, there's so much fear mongering going out there that clients are probably asking you more about Social Security than you've ever heard before, right? And so understanding Social Security is not just about the types of benefits and the eligibility and that's the most important part. But what about the questions that everyone has been asking? Is Social Security running out of money? What happens in 2034, right? Is Social Security going to be there for me? There's a lot of these, fear-mongering things that are really just clickbait. And it puts this strain on our clients because they're already having a tough time knowing they're going into the hardest part of their life, potentially retirement, right? It's a whole new journey, it's a whole new part of their life. And on top of that, then you're throwing in the complexities of Social Security, the complexities of how to take their money out of retirement, how to get on the right healthcare plan. And so they're looking for someone that can simplify it. This is what I need to know, right? How do I get the most income in retirement? How do I maximize my Social Security? How do I get on the best healthcare plan that's going to fit my needs and my overall retirement goals, but doing it in the most simple way as possible because clients are confused. They work with a professional to simplify things, right? And that's where you guys come in. Now, adding Social Security guidance to your practice is not one of those things where you want to take a CE course and learn a little bit about it. That's pretty much what every advisor is doing, right? Either knowing nothing or knowing very little. But we've seen through our RSSAs and our program that clients and consumers need real help, right? Not just throwing it into their plan, using a generic answer or information, but really knowing the best and right strategy for that client, right? I have an RSSA that told me they actually basically were able to gain a new client from another advisor because their other advisor gave them an answer to collect Social Security at 62. Now, that would be fine. I don't mind the collecting at 62. But what throws it off is that this client didn't know any better. They told them to collect at 62 without any research, any knowledge, anything that really showed why they're claiming at 62, right? As an RSSA, the job of a professional is not to, tell someone what to do, but you have to at least give the information for them to make the best informed decision, right? So again, collecting at a certain time is fine, but there has to be some planning and understanding of why they're doing that, right? So it ended up being that this RSSA worked with this person, was able to withdraw their application, luckily, because it turned out that based on their situation, it was the wrong time to collect at 62. They were still working, so their benefit was highly reduced and also taxed. They had a spouse to think about the survivor benefit, and without any understanding, just go ahead and collect. It doesn't matter. But it shows that by really helping someone with this, it led to not only helping them with Social Security, but that RSSA was then able to help them with their other retirement planning services. Now, here's why clients need help with this type of service, right? Again, it's not irrelevant to your demographic. If you're trying to reach baby boomers and you're trying to help people with Medicare, life insurance, wealth planning, assets under management, annuities, all of these subjects that we want to help clients with, and we want to better the lives of ourselves and of our business, it has to be a suitability factor, right? You're not going to recommend a product or service that doesn't fit their needs. But the fact is that if we don't understand what else is going on with them, whether they have retirement assets or not, whether they have debts or not, expenses, all of this ties in to understanding how we can help them, right? And so the first part of that help is using Social Security because it's almost like another form of an annuity. It provides a dependable retirement income stream that can offset their fixed expenses, right? But it's become such a subject where people kind of put it on the back burner as if it's not important, and people don't know where to go to get the information. And so with so many people retiring every single day, they don't know where to get the help that they need. And so statistically, 96% of them leave money on the table. And we're not talking about a few dollars. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars are left on the table in retirement, which is completely devastating because for many clients, Social Security is either their only or at least their largest retirement income stream, right? And so it should be on the forefront of their plan, not as a throwing it in, we'll add it as part of the plan, but it should really be the cornerstone of that plan. Now, Another thing that clients face is overpayments. For those of you who have seen some of my webinars in the past, or maybe you haven't, I always talk about overpayments. And what happens is there was a 60-minute segment on overpayments. They've been replaying it recently because over 1 million Americans are receiving an overpayment notice basically each year. And if you haven't seen it already, look it up on Google or YouTube. Social Security 60 minutes on overpayments, and it talked about how people are owing back to Social Security $50,000, $250,000 in overpayments. Right? It's not always that high, but imagine you worked with a client for many years, and all of a sudden in the mail they get an overpayment notice saying that they owe back $100,000. Well, that is completely devastating to that client. That could be all their retirement assets gone in the blink of an eye. And it could have been easily avoided if they had someone like you to go to get the help that they need. Right. And that's why people are now paying hundreds of dollars to work with a professional to get this help, because they'd rather pay $400, $500, $600 to a professional than have to owe back $250,000 that completely turns their retirement and their entire life around. Right. And the biggest issue is that they want to be educated. They just don't know where to go, right? As I said earlier, they can't go to the Social Security Administration because by law, they're not allowed to give advice. They're allowed to answer questions, but you may call them 3 times and get 3 different answers to the same question. That happens every day. And the worst part is they say that, and you can see it right here in the picture, Social Security's mistake is your client's responsibility, right? But that means as agents and advisors, if we truly cared about our clients, that means it's our responsibility as well, right? There's no other topic that this type of thing can really happen to. And again, it comes down to not enough people, agents, advisors, professionals that want to get into helping their clients with this for whatever reason it is, right? If you're on here today and you don't offer this type of service, think about what that reasoning is, and think about what the reason would be for you not to do something and offer something like this to your clients. So at the end of the day, what we want to do is express the value of Social Security planning, right? Wouldn't it be valuable to, and have you gotten some of these questions, right? Clients want to know, when do they take their benefits, right? And it may not just be on a retirement benefit. Are they eligible on a spouse or an ex-spouse or a deceased spouse, right? What is their unique circumstances? What are the rules and pitfalls that they need to know in order to make the best decision? What types of benefits am I eligible for? Can I claim on my ex-spouse? What happens when my spouse passes away, right? What questions am I not asking? One of the big things that we teach is not only how to answer questions properly, but how to ask the right questions back. Because a reason that Social Security and so many professionals answer these questions wrong is because there's no context, right? It's hard to answer a question without knowing what questions to ask back, right? Am I eligible for an ex-spousal benefit? Well, how long were you married? How long have you been divorced? Do you plan to get remarried, right? All of these questions need to be asked in order to provide a proper answer. And that's why so many professionals and Social Security Administration reps get things wrong, because they don't truly have the knowledge to be able to handle these type of things. So what it comes down to is you want to know, how is this RSSA platform, the designation, how is this going to help your business, right? The RSSA roadmap software, how is this going to be relevant to your clients? How is it going to attract new business and increase your income, right? Well, big thing is a lot of agents and advisors are too widespread, right? They know a little bit about a lot of things. But today, through research, clients are looking for help with niche, right? Something specific that really resonates with them. That topic could be Social Security. For most people, it's not, but it should be. And again, it's because usually when someone's aging into near retirement age, 60, 61, 62, the first thing they're thinking about is Social Security. They're thinking about it every day because they're seeing it on the news, on Google, on YouTube, on TikTok, right? Whatever it is. And all of it is information to scare that client rather than to protect them and to help them, right? So, what this leads to is more leads. And we're not just talking about the tire kickers, plate lickers type of leads. We're talking about getting leads that have never been contacted. They're not oversaturated. You're not buying a lead list that hundreds of other agents and advisors have already called, right? This is a way to attract new opportunities, making more appointments. We just had someone who posted in our Facebook group. We have a Facebook group. Someone just posted they did their very first event. They had 10 people show up and 7 made appointments after with them, right? I just brought that up because that was the most recent one that literally just came in today. But we have RSSAs that are doing annuities, and they made over $100,000 in annuity commission in their very first event where 30 people showed up. We have people that get, millions of dollars in assets under management and T65 sales for Medicare, right? It's leading to more leads, more appointments, and more sales using this type of approach. Now, this is also an opportunity where if you want to make additional income, aside from increasing your sales for your business with cross-selling opportunities, you could also charge a fee for your consultations, right? We have RSSAs that charge $400, $500, $600 for a consultation about Social Security, right? And you'll see through the RSSA Roadmap software, it creates a personalized, tangible report. That report is going to be important for several reasons, but one of them is being able to provide that client with something tangible and then charging a fee for that, as well as additional fees, right? I know people who charge for helping with applications, helping fill out specific forms, right? The sky is the limit. So you can bring in a lot of additional income just on that side, but it's also building that trust and relationship to lead to your sales in Medicare, life insurance, annuities, assets under management, all the things that you guys are focused on. Now, perhaps the most important part of this is gaining an edge on your competition, right? Especially products. If we're selling products, everyone is selling the same product. You see these things on TV and, all over saying, hey, buy my product. It's better than everyone else. Well, all of the advisors and agents are selling those same products, right? So this is a way where we want to differentiate you. We want to make you an expert in Social Security and be different than all of the other agents and advisors out there selling the same products you are, but you're using this grassroots organic approach. So for the program itself, some of you may have heard about the program already, but if you haven't heard it, now is the time to either learn more that you've never heard before or to catch up on, okay, what is this program again? What does it entail? What does it do? How it's going to help you grow your practice and increase your sales? Well, the first thing is you want to know what's included. So we give you everything you need, a complete turnkey approach to adding Social Security planning and services as part of your business model, right? Not just, you can use it to help your clients, but which is great. And then you're also adding it as a way to generate new lines of business, new income, new strategy. So we give you everything from the education, technology, lead generation opportunities, marketing, and support. All of the ways that you can successfully integrate this to build your book of business. Now, there's 3 simple steps to get certified. The first is going through the education. Now, is the education going to be easy? No, right? This is all new information. Some of you may have a little background about Social Security, but this is not something you could fake your way through. This is a professional, nationally recognized designation. It's approved for CE credits, which we're going to talk about. But it's not something that if you're just trying to get through this and fake your way through, this is not going to be for you. But for those who are truly dedicated and you could put in 15 to 20 hours of study time, then this is going to be something that's going to transform your business. So going through the 5 modules will teach you all about Social Security. It'll teach you about how to market it, how to get it integrated into your practice. We also teach you how to use the software built within the modules. And once you get through those, you'll sit for the final exam to earn the designation. The two-part exam is multiple choice and then 2 cases using the software. You just need a 75% to pass. Most people pass the first time around, but the best part, our in-house support team is here to help you every step of the way. If you have questions throughout the course, if you need help prepping for the exam, getting set up for the exam, we have a whole team to make sure that you get through this successfully, if you're willing to put in the work. Now we have a whole nother team on how to integrate this into your practice once you're certified, right? Big questions we get is, how do I market this? What's going to be my ROI? How quickly can I make back my investment, right? We're seeing a 45% ROI within the first 30 to 45 days, right? So you're seeing an increase, not just what you paid for the program, but almost that and a half within the first month, right? And again, we have people that make $100,000 a month and selling annuities and assets under management and all of that as well. But whether you're a Medicare agent, tax professional, this is a way where you can really increase your business. Now, perhaps the most important part here is, once you're certified, we have immediate access to live and on-demand training, right? And it's not so much what you learned already, but it's about how to integrate it, right? If you plan on charging fees, if you want to walk a client through a sample report, if you want to put on educational events, right? Really giving you the marketing strategies of how to integrate this right away. Now, we also give you back office support. So if you ever have any client cases or questions, if you need help with a marketing strategy, we're here to help you through that as well. One of the great things about this is that we provide you with all of the marketing content that you need, right? So you don't have to create anything from scratch. We're going to show you all of the marketing content and collateral that we have. So this program is also approved for continuing education credits, as I said earlier. Depending on your profession, we're approved in 46 states, including Washington, D.C., for insurance CE. We're also approved by the FI 360 designation, the IRS, NASBA, and the CFP board. We're listed on the FINRA directory. And depending on the state that you're in your profession, generally most states will provide around 8 to 9 CE credits. So it's a great extra add-on bonus to your practice as well. Now, we also provide all of the turnkey marketing, right? Imagine a marketing in a box where you don't have to create anything from scratch. You don't even have to really think about it because we provide you with all the marketing content, marketing templates geared towards consumers, B2B relationships, right? Not enough advisors are working with other professionals, but the B2B market is huge right now. Anything you're not doing that you want to build that relationship to get referrals, it's a great opportunity, especially if you're going to give them a referral fee. We also have templates geared towards if you want to build relationships with unions or employer groups, right? We have RSAs that are getting in front of thousands of people at a union or employer groups and offering this as a Social Security wellness benefit, right? Again, you're not going in saying, I'm another financial advisor or I'm another insurance agent trying to sell your clients or your employees or your union members. You want to educate them on Social Security, which then leads to those sales, right? So a complete different approach. We also have consumer-facing brochures, slicks, postcards, Facebook ads, Google templates, all of that is included. We have social media content, slide presentations to use at events are included. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then every RSSA is given their own unique landing page that you can see here on the screen. This is going to give you the ability to see your picture, reviews of what clients write about you, professional bio, upcoming events that you host. You can put an external website here. So if you have a website for your other business, you can link it here. Scheduling a call link if you use Calendly or you want to do a Zoom meeting, anything like that. And then there's also a contact me form here. Now, part of this, you'll also be placed into our directory where we have consumers that come to our website looking to work with an RSSA in their area. They'll be able to contact you directly and you'll get those leads at no additional cost. Now, if you do like to put on educational events for, maybe you've done it in the past for some other, subjects, this seems to work really well. Like I said earlier, someone just posted on our Facebook group. They got 10 people into the seats, basically seven appointments after that. We've had people that get 30, 40, 50 people into the seats and are, making over 50% are turning into clients. So these work really well. But again, you don't have to think about it. We provide you with best practices of where you can host events, whether that's libraries, 55 plus communities. We'll kind of give you some direction on how to market the event. We also provide you with the slide presentations to use at the event. It comes with scripts, video training. We give you all of the best practices so that you can put on a successful event as well. So the next thing I want to bring up here is the RSSA roadmap. If you haven't seen it before, this will really help you understand the capabilities of this technology, how easy it is to use, what you're going to be providing clients with, and how you're going to be easily able to use this as part of the integration process. So the course is great about understanding the output of the software, right? So you're really gaining an understanding of Social Security so that when you're providing this report to the client, you're able to walk them through it intelligently, right? Not just, again, the whole bait and switch model where you say you know Social Security, but then you can't even answer a question. This is giving you that knowledge and the technology to help your clients. Now, for entering the information, should take no longer than 5 to 10 minutes. And the information you're putting in is pretty generic for the most part, but it's based on that client's circumstances. It's asking for their name, their birth date, their marital status. This does take into account whether they're single, married, divorced, widowed, dependent benefits. All of that is included. So all of these questions that you're asking of the client are starting to create that personalized, tangible report that they would get at the end. In this case, we put that there's a spouse, so we would enter the spouse's information as well. And then the only other thing needed is the client's earnings record. Now, that could be pulled from SSA.gov. We have the links here in the software that link to SSA.gov, where a client can either sign into their account if they have one, or to create an account for the first time. And then you could download that XML file and upload it into the software, which does the calculations, right? This will shoot in their earnings record. Now, aside from telling clients what their current benefits are based on their past earnings, you also have the ability to put in future earnings. So if you plan to work another 2, 5, 10 years, whatever it is, you can also let them know how they may be able to increase their benefits by continuing to work. Now, there's a lot of calculators out there, right, that say, hey, just put in the Social Security statement. But the Social Security statement that someone receives, that is just an estimate. Right? We've actually seen that be off as much as $500 per month or even more because of the assumptions that they're making, which may or may not be true in that person's life. And on top of that is that only looks at the individual. It doesn't know if they're married or have an ex-spouse or a deceased spouse. It doesn't tell that client what rules and pitfalls they need to know in order to make the best decision. And so this is the power of understanding Social Security along with the technology to help your clients and prospects. So lastly here, we have our built-in fact-finding tool. Again, if you sell other products and services, whether that's life insurance, annuities, wealth planning, retirement planning, you want to know what else is going on with that client. What does their financial and retirement outlook look like, right? So none of this information is built into the report that gets created, but this is for you to understand that suitability factor. What do they have in retirement savings? Do they have 401ks, Roth IRAs? What is their, do they have debt? What do their expenses look like, right? So you can tailor this Social Security conversation around how else you can help them. You've already built that trust and rapport and relationship. And by going through the report that gets created, you're also understanding how you can help them fill those gaps in income, right? With those products and services that you can help them with. So let's see what that looks like, right? So next is calculating the results. We're going to show you that personalized report in just a minute and really the power of it. But before that, I want to show you some other key features that you'll have access to. Now, some of these other features you'll use very little, some of them you'll use a lot. It's completely up to you, but some of these things are really helpful when speaking to clients. The first is the filing options heat map. This is going to show every single option from 62 through 70. So you don't have to spend a whole bunch of time putting in what if they did this versus this. All of that takes time, right? And time is really important, especially to your business. And so we provide every single option, 62 through 70, in a lifetime, annual, and monthly heat map, showing you every single option available. And you can even click on any option within here, which will break down the details. Are they eligible for retirement, spousal, survivor, dependent benefits? Are there any earnings deductions? And as you can see, these can be broken down from annual benefits to monthly within here as well. We also have the PIA calculator. Remember, Social Security doesn't show clients how their benefits are calculated. They just say, here's your benefit, expect to believe it. We want to take that step further, and it doesn't mean you have to go into details explaining everything to the client, but just showing them that it's based on their top 35 years and how that works into their planning and what their benefit is from 62 through 70. This really helps them understand where these benefits are coming from, as well as the accuracy of what you're presenting. We also have a break-even report, which can allow you to choose up to 4 different options at once, or you can uncheck certain options and change the ages accordingly to show different break-even scenarios, which I know a lot of clients tend to bring up. We also have a tax calculator. This will show the client how much they may pay in taxes on their benefits during retirement. Now, only 9 states tax Social Security, but federally, their benefits may be taxed. So it allows you to put in their tax filing status, their AGI, their Social Security benefit, and kind of lets them know how much they may pay in taxes on their benefit. We also have a Medicare calculator. Anybody in the Medicare space or has gotten these questions, the Part B premium for 2025 is $185, but they may have enough income to incur an additional Part B premium, which is the IRMA, income-related monthly adjustment amount. So we can actually calculate based on their tax filing status and their income range, how much they may pay on their Part B premium based on that IRMA. Now, we also have something called Cetera, right? I'm going to come back to this in just a minute after we go through the report, but this is a great opportunity that if you want to work with small business owners, if you're a small business owner yourself, or if you want to work with tax professionals to work with their small business owner clients, this is going to be a strategy that is extremely valuable. And we'll come back to that in a minute. So for the personalized report, it can be downloaded in a PDF or a Word file. Word file is good if you want to make any edits, changes, add-ins, anything like that. This can also be white labeled. So you can have your logo, you can have your company information, however you want to do it, completely customizable. So I'm going to download it in a Word file so that you can see it creates it right away. Again, you don't have to do any of the heavy lifting. It's all automatically generated. Bring it over to here. Let's see. My mouse is missing. Okay. So again, one of the most important pieces here is actually providing the client with this report and going through it with them one-on-one, right? And it's not just about answering their questions and asking them the right questions back about Social Security, but starting to integrate your practice, starting to integrate your other lines of business, right? So as an example, when you're going through this, you're giving them some key information, right? Some things that they should know based on their circumstances. You're talking about the types of benefits they're eligible for, right? Some of the eligibility factors, the timing behind it, if they're eligible for more than one benefit at the same time, if it's a future benefit like survivor benefits, how their decision today impacts that. You'll provide them with their annual and monthly heat maps so they can see all of their numbers and all of their options at once. We also provide them with a claiming option summary. This is going to outline their lifetime, annual, and monthly benefits based on each of those options, and also lets them know when to file based on the option they choose as well, and file for all of the benefits they're entitled to. So they'll know what they're entitled to and the timing behind it. Now, we also have survivor benefits. Now, this is really where you can tie in things, right? Especially as you're walking through this situation, you're also kind of asking them, are you still working, right? Do you have other retirement assets? I see that you filled out this and this. So these conversations come organically. But as an example, let's just say you sell life insurance. Well, once someone passes, yes, the higher benefit remains, but the lower one goes away. So what about filling that gap or that void with life insurance or an annuity or another product that could bridge that gap when someone passes? Same thing kind of goes for longevity, right? The number one concern over death for retirees is outliving their funds, right? Longevity risk. So not only do we put lifetime benefits and projected life expectancies, we also have longevity comparisons. But this is where you can tie in what you can help your clients with. How do we get more dependable income? Well, that ties into annuities, right? Dependable income in retirement. Or how do I save on taxes so that I can have more income in retirement? I need help with my other assets, right? Assets under management or retirement planning. It all ties in, having these conversations and organically leading to how else you're going to be able to help them, whether that's on the insurance side, finance side, health, wealth. It's all relevant to that client. So lastly, I want to get to this Cetera piece here. So Cetera stands for Self-Employed Tax and Retirement Analysis. Now, this is a specific type of analysis where you're going to be able to help those small business owners. Again, whether that's directly, you own a business yourself, right? A lot of us may be independent contractors, so you own your own business, and then also working with tax professionals to help their small business owner clients, right? Well, this analysis allows you to work with that business owner and maximize their Social Security while minimizing their self-employment tax contributions. So if you think about it, a lot of businesses can structure their business in a way where they have some kind of control over their income. Well, let's just give an example. If you have an S Corp, with S Corp businesses, you take a salary out of the business and you can take a distribution. Well, the salary is subject to the self-employment 15.3% tax for Social Security and Medicare, and the distribution is not. So under reasonable compensation, right? Reasonable amount that you can take in salary, if you can lower that a specific amount and take that amount that you changed and throw that to a distribution, you could save that business owner that 15.3% of that change, right? So at $50,000, that's saving them $7,500 per year in self-employment taxes. And doing that may not have given them very much or at all a return on investment continuing to pay into Social Security. Them paying into Social Security is just a waste. So if you could save them that and throw that $5,000, $10,000, $12,000 savings per year into a product or service that is going to give them a proper ROI in retirement. Now, whether you take that savings and throw it into something, you can also charge a fee for this type of service. Think about it. If you save $5,000, $7,500, $10,000 per year, how much do you think that business owner would pay for that type of service? We have RSAs that charge $2,000, $3,000 per business owner to do that. And again, they don't really blink an eye because you're saving me 10 grand in the first year alone and you only charge 3,000. To them, it's a no-brainer and a home run. Yet they don't think about it because they don't really know the impact of them paying in, what that has on their Social Security, right? Maybe their tax professional said, oh, pay this amount, but without any thought of how that impacts their future benefits, right? So this is a great strategy that we teach you as well, and it's incorporated within the platform. So what this program includes is the 5-module educational course, including the software training, including that Cetera that we just went through. You get the final exam, and you'll also get a second attempt if you need it at no additional cost. You get a hard copy of the certification mailed to your house, so you can put it in a nice plaque. You can also download a copy online at any time. We give you the Rssa Roadmap software. Everything we just showed you is included. The back office support from our team. Again, as you're going through the course and exam, we have a team. We have a team for your success at the end. Marketing, all of that's included. We give you all of the marketing content and collateral, right? So you never have to create anything from scratch. It's all turnkey for you. And then the first year membership. Now, if you've seen some of our emails, we are increasing our prices to $3,395 at the end of the month, right? So starting July 1st. So we did send out a notification that you can enroll for $2,300, I believe it was, to the to June 30th. But being on this webinar today, we wanted to give you an extra incentive. So if you are interested in what we had to say today, if you want to lock in your discount to pay just $2,000, so that's an extra $300 savings. Again, at the end of the month, it's going all the way up to $33.95. So take advantage of this savings today. You can enroll at narssa.org/package with promo code TMD25 that will give you a promo code down from $33.95 to $2,000 today. You can also use a payment plan option. It's not through us, but we have Klarna, Afterpay, and PayPal. So if paying the $2,000 today is an issue, you can use a payment plan option through one of those. But again, this is a great opportunity. This additional savings to pay just $2,000 is going to be good through midnight tonight. All right. And then again, if you want to sign up by the end of the month, you could still get a savings of $2,300. But I figured if you want to save an extra $300, you're really interested, go ahead after this webinar, go to narssa.org/package, TMD25. I'm going to send a follow-up email with this information as well. And then in the chat, I'm also going to put a couple things as well. So in the chat, I'm putting the narssa.org/package promo is TMD25. And then my email, because some people are going to have additional questions after this, so you can contact me. My email and my direct cell is going in the chat. So if you have questions before enrolling, after this, I'm going to download the recording, send that to everybody, send out the information. But if you have any questions, send me an email, give me a call. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. So before we get off, let me answer some questions that we have in the Q&A. And then, like I said, if I don't get to your question today, or if something comes up later on that you have a question on, send me an email, give me a call. I'm happy to have a one-on-one conversation with you. Let's see. Okay, so if you are a current member and you have a specific question, send me a separate email about that. I'm not going to answer them today just because this is more of a webinar for new people. Let's see. Just trying to find some questions here. Okay, so once certified, are there any annual or biannual CE requirements? So yeah, the good thing about this program is that you don't have to recertify. Once you're certified once, that's it. The only other thing we require is 4 in-house CE credits per year. In the year that you pass the exam, so the first year, you won't have to take the CE. It starts in the second year. And the 4 CE credits, I said, are in-house. That just means they're our own courses so that you keep up with new Social Security changes and things like that. There's no additional cost. It's included in the program. Now, after the first year, because I'm sure we're going to get this question, after the initial $2,000 today, 12 months later and every 12 months after, the annual renewal is $479 per year. Now, that actually is very good because it comes with continuing use of the software, the back office, the marketing, the CEs, maintaining your designation status, all of that is included. So it's a bit of a higher upfront cost, but compared to other membership organizations and softwares out there, the $479 is pretty affordable. And then once we're certified, do we need E&O insurance? Most RSSAs, I don't believe, have E&O insurance. I mean, you could always err on the side of caution. So if you want E&O, you could always look into it. Okay, good question. Does the landing page have the option to add the language spoken? So a good thing is we are working on doing marketing material, including that landing page, as well as the course in other languages, which is coming over the next couple months. All right. So again, we're giving you a big thing now is that we want you to sign up for a low cost because of all the new initiatives that we have coming. We have so many new big things that are coming that we've been trying to, get across to enroll now for the low pricing to take advantage of all of the big things that are coming. We're talking about updated learning management system, updated software, all of these big things that are coming are going to truly help our members. So we wanted to give you a chance to enroll for the discount before the end of today for this one, and then the end of the month for the other one. Okay. Let's see. I am a special need financial planner. Can the software take into consideration the benefit that is available to spouses who may be younger than the worker and cares for a minor child? Yes, absolutely. So the software takes all cases pretty much into consideration, right? So minor children, disabled children. What you're talking about is a spousal in-care benefit for caring for a child that's either minor or disabled. All of that's included. The family maximum benefit of how much Social Security will pay out per family, all of that is built in. So great question. Does the client get an electronic version of the report that would allow them to drill down on the heat maps? Yes. So the report you can send to the client either by mail if you'd like to, if they want a hard copy, but usually you just send it an electronic email and you could send them the PDF or Word file. I usually recommend sending the PDF just so they can't make any edits, but that's up to you. Next question. Does the program help to determine reasonable compensation? So I believe that is coming. That's something we are currently working on. However, a lot of this is you could be doing in tandem with a tax professional, unless that's you if you're a tax professional. But again, if you're not and you're kind of nervous about the reasonable comp, you can work with that client's tax professional and say, hey, what would be reasonable to go down to potentially. And there's no exact guidelines on the IRS website for reasonable comp. They give you some, things here and there, but there's no exact science for it. But it does depend on several different factors that we are including in the next version. Yes, the copy of the recording will be available. I'm going to send that once the download is complete. How long does it take to work with a client who's a business owner to meet with them and provide a report? So business owner analysis takes a little bit longer than a regular one. I usually meet with a client or RSSAs meet with clients for maybe an hour, hour and a half. So it's really not that much. But again, if you're charging a high fee, it's definitely worth it. You don't want to rush through it, especially, when they paid like a high fee, like $2,000-$3,000. Spend an hour or two with them, let them know that you're here for follow-ups. But again, remember, they're paying for your expertise, right? So a lot of times people be like, oh, it only took 30 minutes to do a tax return, but it's not about the time. It's about the expertise, right? Okay, so yes, I knew we were going to get to this. So the annual renewal fee, remember I said is $479 per year after this. So 2000 the first year today, and then 12 months later, every 12 months after, just $479 per year. So that took care of that. That took care of that. Yes, you have to renew it once a year. That's correct. Does your program cover spousal benefits? How often do your analysts find extra spousal benefits for your clients? Yeah, again, takes care of everything. Every single benefit, spousal, in-care spousal, uh, ex spousal benefits, ex survivor, dependents, ex survivor dependents. All of the different benefits are included. And again, a lot of times people leave money on the table because they're not even sure they're eligible for a spousal benefit. So to explain the timing, the benefits, the eligibility factors, definitely can increase the amount of Social Security they get for sure. Yeah. So if you're in the middle of another certification, can you delay completing the RSSA? So yeah, if you want to take advantage today, which I strongly recommend, of the promo code to get it for a lower price, you have 12 months to finish the program. So you have plenty of time to come back to it. You can lock in the discount, and then a month from now, 2 months from now, 6 months from now, when you have the time, go ahead and get started on it. You can absolutely do that. Do you have LPL advisors in this? Yeah, so we are approved for LPL advisors to use the designation. We have quite a few LPL advisors, not nearly enough, obviously, but yeah, if you're an LPL advisor, definitely looking for more of those in our program. Right, good, getting some really good questions. If I'm already enrolled and through all the modules but did not take the test, can I still be part of the program? Yeah. So if you haven't taken the test yet, you can go ahead and take the test. You just have to renew your membership. Excellent question. As far as generating leads, there's unlimited ways to generate leads. So we teach you kind of how to market and all that, and provide you with all the marketing material. Do you have engagement letters? Yes, we have engagement letters, email templates, all of the marketing, all of the communications, completely built that for you. And then how much time for the training? So again, it's usually around 20 hours to complete. I know some people who sign up in a morning and they're done by the end of the night. And then some people take a bit longer. There's no need to rush through it. Like I said, it's a comprehensive platform program. You really want to learn it. So there's no rush. If it takes a little bit longer, that's fine. At least you know that you're only going to have to do it once, and then you're certified. And again, after that, helping clients really kind of ties into what you learn and eventually becomes second nature. When can I complete the exam if I sign up today? So we give the exam on every second and fourth Tuesday of each month. So the next two exams will be the second and fourth Tuesday in July. So perfect timing, actually. If you sign up today and through the next couple weeks, you study, and you'll be able to take that first July exam. Do you guys go into retirement benefits for federal employees? So part of that is definitely included in the training. So again, it's a comprehensive program. So it's not just like, the basics of Social Security. We also tie in retirement planning and how your services that you guys all provide now, Medicare, life insurance, annuities, financial, all of that is included in the training as well. Can we take advantage of the discount and then take the exam in January? Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, you have a full 12 months to finish it. So definitely lock in the price today, because again, this is going to be the very last day at this pricing. And then, it's going up to the full price in July. So just take advantage of this, because trust me, we're coming up with so many new initiatives that is going to completely transform your business. And then let's see. Yep. So can I sign up today and then start in October? Yeah. Again, absolutely. You have a full year to complete the program. Yeah. If you're using installments through Klarna, Afterpay, or PayPal, you still get it for $2,000. One of those, it depends on, because they give you the options of, I think, like 4 equal payments, or 6 months, 12 months, or 24 months, depending on what you choose. Some of them are interest free, but if you choose 24 months, there's like, I think 10% interest. So it's really not, I think you're paying extra like $200-$300 to do installments. So really good opportunity to get into if you can't pay it all at once. I believe Klarna offers like 160 or like 90 a month or 100 a month, something like that. It's pretty good. Yeah, so this program includes the RSA landing page that I showed you earlier to get clients. Yep, that's included. And then, yeah, so for charging fees, how do you take payments? You can use PayPal invoicing. That's kind of something we recommend. But there's so many payment solutions. You could do Venmo, all of the ones. There's hundreds of payment solutions out there that you can use. And then again, time limit on completing the education. You have a full year. Does it include the new changes from 2025 with the repeal that Biden signed? Yes, it does include those as well. I didn't hear if you answered about E&O coverage. Again, for E&O, not everyone has it. You can get it if you want. I always like to say, if you want to err on the side of caution, it can't hurt to have extra coverage. You could also reach your current E&O coverage and see if they'll cover it. And then, yes, so if you need to renew your membership, if someone needs to renew their membership, you can't get back to take the test or back into the platform until the renewal is paid. So the first thing is to pay the renewal, and then you'll have another year access to the platform. Does this provide any support for appealing SS decisions? So we don't give the support for appealing decisions, but we teach you how you can help your clients appeal decisions, if that's helpful. And then how many hours does it take to complete? Again, usually around 20 hours to complete. If you don't renew, will the software still be usable? No, you have to renew. The 479 includes the software, so you do need to renew to have access to that. So when is the renewal due? So it's 12 months from the day that you enroll. So if you enroll today, next year, 2026, what is it, June 25th, you'll pay the 479. So it's exactly 1 year from the day of enrollment. Does RSSA offer a PowerPoint for educational presentations? Yes, that is included as well. So you would get the PowerPoint presentations, handouts, everything you need to put on a successful webinar or in-person seminar. Do we help with railroad retirees? Yes. So we don't teach too much about that because it's very far and few between. But if you have a railroad client, we'll actually do it with you, right? Because it's a rare case, you won't come across many. But if that's a niche, we can actually teach you how to do that. After you get certified, we could also help those clients with you to give you that support. Do we provide training on totalization agreement? Yes. So the totalization agreement, helping people from other countries, is also included. That's a great value and valuable service because a lot of people need that help. And then what time on Tuesday can we take the exam? So again, the exam is every second and fourth Tuesday. You get to choose any time throughout that day that works for you to take the exam. And the exams are online, so they're not in person. So 4 people asked that in a row. Okay. All right, so that is going to be the end of the session today. We are at the top of the hour, but if I did not get to your question, you have other questions that you want answered, again, reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any additional questions that you guys have. Hope to see some of you guys enroll and speak to you all soon. Have a great day, everybody.
Recording stopped.